Now I have this relentless responsibility to try to keep it intact. And then I realized, well, Rocky character is intact, but now there's a new generation, and the character of Adonis Creed comes into the picture. And this is Ryan's creation. So I thought, how extraordinary that this man would just come up with this story when he had, hundreds and hundreds of different scripts to choose from, and someone so young to be captivated by this. But he had personal reasons, and he's directed this in a personal way that I'm quite astounded by it. I mean, he's just unrelenting. I don't think I've ever seen anyone this focused. And it's not to be denigrating or dismissive of anyone else, but I've never seen a more focused individual on one project, ever. Rocky's story is pretty much done. In his ring story and his journey with Adrian, and now it's about actually a rebirth of this new character and Rocky. How do you communicate with a different generation who's kind of angry, that kind of feels as though, like a lot of the millennials, that opportunity has passed them by, and Rocky's kinder, simpler times don't automatically apply to today's standards, and how these two start to butt heads, but you realize they love one another, and they do rely upon one another, because when you get right down to it, after all the points have been tallied, what really counts is love. His dedication to the training, Michael's, is professional, actually, maybe even beyond professional, because he spent, I think, even over a year preparing. So he was in extraordinary shape. I mean, I've done this a few times, and I think he was in better shape than I was, and I would say that he really had to work hard, because these scenes were done over many, many, many days, and to maintain that kind of physique and energy and passion, you need a special quality. So he literally, and he's still to this day on the set, being very specific about what he's eating, so he's living the part. To Ryan's credit, I gave him my blueprint, which I've used before, and then he analyzed it, took it for what it's worth to him, and then he choreographed this fight himself. So, because he wanted it to be his own blueprint. He's one of those sorts of types of directors, a new breed of director, that is a real auteur. And that's hard to do. I mean, see, there's really two movies in a film like this. You have your drama, and then the fight is a completely other kind of film. It's almost as much footage, and you have to cram within 9 minutes this course of events. It's very complicated, and that's what I kept saying. I said, remind yourself, you're making two movies. Really, it's not, and that's why it's very daunting. And he did it, no problem. I like him. I love Michael. He's a fantastic actor. He's so dedicated. I know we all hear that. But even if he finishes a scene and he's done well, he may come back 20 minutes later and goes, there's something brewing inside. Do you mind if I take one more shot at it? And sure enough, something even more excellent rises to the top there. And I go, wow, that's something. Most people would say, all right, thank you very much, I'm out of here, because it's hard. Philadelphia is obviously a tremendous backdrop for this film, and seeing it through the eyes of a new director is great. Of course, we go back to some places that are pretty well established, like the Steps, and we use that in the modern screenplay to show one generation how it relates to another generation. But he has found all these new locations. So he's showing a different side of Philadelphia, a much, much different point of view and demographic, which is great.